So let's talk a little bit about are there some things you can do to prevent your budget from being cut? So why don't you take that one?
From being cut.
Yeah. How do you prevent it from being cut?
Oh man, I wish I had the answer. My budget has been cut so many times over so many different accounts. I couldn't even tell you. I would say in terms of what you can do to set yourself up in the best position possible to not be cut is number one, hit your goals. I mean, if you do anything, do that. Hit your goals. And also I would say getting more practical, if you can report on pipe to spend, that's really helpful because if you can show, hey, we have a really strong pipe to spend, let's just say 5x on these different channels. Well, then it's not what I think, it's what the data shows, right? For every dollar we're putting in, we're getting $5 back in pipeline. Like that's phenomenal. So let's continue to invest here. And if you can report on that as a metric, that's really valuable to leadership and also ultimately to the board because they can see that you're really efficient here. And it's also a great metric to monitor as well in terms of efficiency because as you start to scale more on paid channels, there is a point of diminishing returns where let's say you're spending $40K a month on Google search as an example, and then you ramp it up to 60, the additional gain that you got from that 20K is so low that your pipe to spend like dramatically goes down and your cost per opportunity goes up. And it just doesn't make logical sense where you're better off, hey, that additional 20K, let me take that and put it on additional like new channels to test or to experiment with, or potentially if you're like, from a strategic perspective, just doing demand capture, hey, well, now we just freed up 20K. Maybe we can start to build a moat and focus on demand creation.
Yeah, that's a good point. And like, it was a trick. It was a little bit of a trick question, right? It's like, how can you prevent your budget from being cut? There's really not much you can do, because oftentimes that's a leadership decision, and then if you're a marketing leader, oftentimes you're just given like a percent, like, so, hey, we just need you to cut 10% or 15% or whatever it is. But
yeah,
like you were saying, like kind of where you got to, there are things you can do when times are good or just in general to make the cut as least as possible, right? And it's all about proving the value of marketing. And so you were talking about, ensuring you understand what is actually leading to revenue, and those kinds of things. I think it's important to always have like a data focused approach, where you're always, when you're thinking, hey, when I'm gonna launch this new campaign, at the same sentence, in the same breath, you're like, and how do I measure this properly?
Yes.
And so
absolutely.
like making sure you've got a really good foundation and being able to say what's working, what's not as fast as possible. So you can make those cuts on the things that aren't working. So I think just having a strong foundation and data and like, what that bottom line is will help.
1,000,000%. When you're talking, I just had an idea of how you could potentially prevent your budget getting cut. Is send like handwritten notes at least once a month to your CFO and like steak dinners and lobsters and just like pamper them as much as possible.
Nurture your own CFO. Yeah. We're doing a gifting program. No, it's not externally. No, it's internally. Yeah. So I can keep my budget.
You got to nurture that contact.
Hey, Sendoso and Postal, there's a new idea for you. It's like, internal gifting.
100%.